Hello guys, my name is Luke. Today I'm going to be talking about the Crusader Ares. I'm going to try to get through the Crusader line because I've already done the Hercules, I've already done the Stara, so if you haven't seen those videos, go and have a little check of them. They're exactly the same as this format, I suppose. Today we're going to be talking about the Ares and the big heavy fighter ship that Crusader's coming out with. Now the Crusader Ares is a huge heavy ship, a heavy fighting ship that has basically one big gun, a size 7 gun for a heavy fighter that is maybe even smaller than the Vanguard. That's a very big gun for a small ship. It's a fixed weapon gun, so no gimbals, no auto gimbal bullshit coming out of this ship when it comes out. However, the Ares has two variants. It has the Ion, the Ares Ion, and the Ares Inferno. Both of them have a little slightly different playstyle, but have different guns basically. That's the big difference and why you would buy one or the other. And really, when it comes to comparing the Ares, you can only really compare the both variants. How can you compare this to a Vanguard or a Warden or whatever, any heavy fighter that is out there? They're not supposed to go out for capital ships. That's what the Ares is. It's supposed to go for capital ships. Vanguard's not meant to be doing that, so you can't really compare. The only ship I can really compare this one to is the Polaris, or the Polaris? The RSI Polaris, the smaller capital ship that's supposed to be out. That one is, I believe when that came out, was supposed to be attacking the big Idrises and the Javelins. It's a very fast capital ship that has torpedoes and a lot of rockets essentially. That is really the closest one you compare, and even then, how could you play a small little heavy fighter to a big capital ship that needs multiple crews, that has a hangar, that it can go in and kill a thing, but it could be a base station like the Carrack could be, as a home for a lot of people. Really, I can't really compare that. I can only really compare the variants of the Inferno and the Ion, and that's what we're going to be doing. It's just comparing those, because I understand that trying to compare this one to the Vanguard is going to be quite hard, and trying to compare it to the Polaris as well. There's big difference in price tags and what you're going to need for them, so I'm going to just be comparing the Ion and the Inferno. So let's start with the Ion. The Ares Ion is the laser cannon version of the Ares heavy fighter. It has 2 power plants, 3 coolers and 3 shields. This variant is a laser cannon, is basically got a lot more. It's got one more shields, one more cooler, because it's the energy, more energy. It needs more energy because it's got a laser cannon, other than the ballistic cannon that the Inferno has. So it's going to need more power. It's going to need more coolers, because you've got a lot more power that generates more heat. I suppose it needs more coolers. The shields, again, you've got more. I guess you got more power. You probably put another shield in there just because. Now the laser cannon itself is a very powerful. That does more damage than what the ballistic one does, I believe. But it's more to attack the shields of big ships. We're talking capital class Idrises and Javelin ships. That is what that cannon is supposed to go for. And because of that, it has a very low rate of fire, and the travel is very slow. Like, the actual velocity is going to be very slow on that ship, meaning that if you're trying to attack, let's say, a little Aurora or a Mustang, really you're going to be struggling to even hit that thing. You shouldn't really be going for those little ships. This ship is mostly for big capital large ship engagements, so where you can go into there and actually hit the goddamn target really easily. So that's what the laser cannon ship is supposed to be, taking out the shields mainly of these big Idrises, these big Javelins. Don't really think that you're going to be shooting this gun and after 10 rounds that Idris is going to blow up. is really more to take out the shield and then have the Inferno come in with its big ballistic one and damage the hull of the ship. And I've just talked about the Ares ions. Now we're going to go on to the Inferno. Let's actually get my notes. So the Inferno has one power plant, 2 coolers, 2 shields, and yeah, it's less than what the Ion has. However, the Inferno has been told to have heavier armor, so that means it can take a bit more ballistic fire, other than the Ion that can take a bit more of the laser or energy, whatever you want to call that, fire. However, this one has got the Gatling Gun, so this is what people want when they're looking at the Inferno. And the Gatling Gun basically has better damage to armor. It's a bit better at you need less lead because it's got high velocity, and has a better rate of fire. That said, does this mean that this ship's going to be able to take out Mustangs and Auroras? No, God no. This ship is going to be still going to struggle to do, I think, to take out these smaller ships. When it comes to the medium ships, you might have a chance, but when it comes to large ships is where you're going to start going, yeah, okay, this thing can probably take out large ships pretty well, and capital ships, again, that's what it's designed for. It's going to be able to take these out. So I still believe that this ship still is very focused on capital ships, very focused on destroying capital ships. So if you're going to buy this ship, why would you buy this one over the Ion? Simple. This ship is made. The Ion is supposed to take out the shields. The Inferno is supposed to finish the thing off. I think that's how it's going to go. Also, I think the Inferno has a better ability at taking out the medium, large ships as well. So if you're going out with this ship and you're not always going to be taking out capital ships, the Inferno is going to be better at that. It's going to be better at going out and actually doing some missions, like destroying a convoy of Connies or something. It's going to be better at doing that. So when it comes to more solo player or a very small group, or if you're in a small org and you want an Ares, a good one and a better option in my opinion is going to be the Inferno. It's going to be able to shoot down these smaller targets much more easier than what the Ion's going to be doing. The Ion's very focused at the big capital ships, when the Inferno is not. It can actually probably do a better job at what the Ion is at shooting at these smaller So I've did both variants there, and basically what they got. Why would you buy any of them? Why would I just go and buy a Polaris, for example? First, resources. The Polaris is a multi-crew ship. It needs to have more than one person to have it operate. It only needs one person. There you go. However, do I think this ship is going to be doing a one-man job and taking out big capital ships like the Idrises? No, I think you're going to have a squadron to take out the Idrises. I think a minimum of five Areses, two as an Ion and 3 as an Inferno to take the shields, and then the Infernos will come in and join. So you still need a crew, you still need a platoon or a convoy to actually have the ship be effective. So this is, again, these ships are coming back to, okay, the ship's very focused on being in a big org that relies on taking out capital ships. You've got to have a reason to take out capital ships. They've got no reason to go over there just to maybe have a laugh. You probably don't want these ships. You probably want to go for a different heavy fighter, for example. But if you do have a reason and you're in a big org and you're trying to defend your territory, or you're trying to attack someone else's, maybe get in these areas in your big org is a good idea. This could be a much cheaper way to take out Idrises compared to the Polaris. That said, I know that this ship came out with a lot of controversy when it was released. Now the reason why is because the Idris's owners and the Javelin owners had the opinion that this ship is going to be able to destroy them, and it's a small ship, a heavy fighting ship that anybody can get out for a cheap price and come over and kill them. I could see that. I could definitely see that on their side. How the hell am I going to say that I've just spent 10, I don't know, months trying to get this Idris, and this guy who's just spent 2 weeks and buying the ship's going to come over and destroy my ship? What the hell? I can definitely see that on their point of view. However, let's look at the Ares' point of view in the fight. So in the fight, the Ares is going to come up. The Idris might not be aware, and the Ares start shooting. The Ion is going to be mostly taking the damage at first, but the Inferno, he might be shooting as well. What does the Idris have? Okay, so the Idris has 4 ships, 4 light fighters ships, fully crewed. If you're not going out with an Idris and fully crewed, you should expect to die from the even smallest of things, like someone accidentally coming in and sneaking on board. But that's just, the Idris is going to be fully crewed. Sends out his light fighters. That's 4 light fighters that is now attacking the Ares. And as we've just said, the Ares Ion is terrible at attacking small ships, and as we said, the Ares Inferno is also terrible at attacking small ships. It's going to have a better chance at taking them down, but it's still not going to be good. These light fighters are going to be superior 1-to-1 with these Areses. Okay, so what? Well, this is also the Idris. It's got turrets. It's got ways to defend itself. It's got turrets that's going to be shooting at this Ares. So even then, it's like the Ares has got to think about the light fighters. It's got to think about the turret fires, and then start actually coordinating an attack to take out the shields. Maybe in the front, maybe in the rear, take out the shields and start then doing real damage with the Inferno. So when it comes to the things where, oh, okay, but if you're going, my Idris shouldn't be getting attacked by and getting destroyed by this Ares. To me, I don't see that. I don't see that a squadron of Ares coming in and basically soloing a huge Idris. I don't see that. I think most of the times a squadron of 5 Ares against an Idris will win if it's fully crewed. Obviously, if it's not fully crewed, well, you shouldn't be going out in the first place. So what? Why the Idris? Why the Ares then? Why buy one of these? Simple. It's a very cheap method to disrupt an Idris. It's to disrupt a Javelin, for example. The Javelin has the same thing. It has a hangar. It has a lot more turrets and more armor. This is going to be more of a support ship. The Ares is going to be more of a support vehicle when it comes to actually dealing damage to the ship. People will probably realise very soon enough when the ship comes out and capital ships and this whole gameplay is available, that people will quickly realise that the Ares will not be able to solo this ship in a fight. I think we will be seeing this to be supporting the Idris, their Idris to attacking yours. I think because you can't just focus on the Ares. The Ares will lose out. I think the Ares will lose out if you just focus on the Ares. But if there's an Idris there, if there's a hammerhead there, maybe the Ares has actually got a reason to be there and could actually destroy you. So to me, when it comes to the people who are very angry about the ship because they're going to be destroying their big capital ones, kind of think about it on their terms of how they're going to destroy you and how you're going to destroy them. And to me, I think the capital ships just have the advantages over the Ares, and the Ares is not just going to be doing this by itself, because if it does, you're going to win out most of the time. And I think that's how it's going to be. It's how that gameplay will end up being. So yeah, that's my opinion on the Ares, both Ares, and what they're going to be able to do in the verse. Yeah, that's the end of the video. If you want to like, if you want to dislike, go ahead. If you want to dislike this video, go ahead. And if you dislike it, but reason why you dislike it in the comments, so I can take that feedback back. If you want to put your opinion about the areas, or your opinion about the Idris, if you don't like the areas because you have an Idris, go ahead, put your opinion out there. Don't just think that I'm going to try to fight back and delete your message or anything. No, I want this discussion. If you want to subscribe. My channel is getting a bit more views now because I'm uploading a lot more. I've got a lot of time because, of course, the problem. I hope you guys stay safe out there, and thank you for watching.